Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get 20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.
Yo, what up? Welcome back to another episode of the Casual Experts podcast here on Eyekon TV. And today, pretty good day. We got the homie Nathan El Morenito Rodriguez here, along with the legendary Marv Nation. Of course, we got Mike Theory. What's cracking with you?
Oh man,
I got my notes. Those look like way more notes than me. I don't like that. Gee, that is crazy. We got some sponsors here, brother.
yeah,
Have you ever heard of Honey Packs?
I think so. Yeah, one of the sponsors.
He hasn't heard about him since he was with you. Don't trip. El Morenito. So I got you the chocolate kind, fool.
Chocolate flavor. Damn, that's crazy.
I know that VADA tests professional athletes. Is it VADA? Something like that?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if organic bee pollen is going to come up on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want you to test dirty for peds. So save this till after the fight, because this is definitely a ped
Yeah.
for the bed.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother.
Crazy. Shout out to Royalty Honey USA. Make sure you check them out for your honey pack needs. Here's a hat from Shaka.
Oh.
I unfortunately gave all of my small sizes from Cookies and Shaka away already, but at least I got you with a fire branded hat. Not everyone gets a hat.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So yeah, where do we begin with you, brother? Where do we begin with you? What's it like boxing for your dad? Like, what's that like? Do you guys turn it off and turn it back on? Like, how does that go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dope, to have that father-son relationship.
Fire.
He has that best interest, looking out for me.
Of course.
The boxing game is pretty crazy world,
Facts.
a little dirty, so it's no one better than to have my pops, as my promoter and to move me, so definitely.
What's the craziest disagreement you could remember having with them? Marv's like, hey, if we better fucking
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe it's been a long time. We haven't really
That's tight.
had no disagreements, man. Just
I'll be honest. In some situations like that, even if it was me, because my son is very young and I'm putting him into boxing, his children, he's gonna make them athletes, I'm assuming.
mm-hmm.
I definitely look after my son's best interest. But the person you just boxed was not a slouch. You made it look easy, but he was not a nobody, I don't think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he did his thing.
That's the thing. I mean, people, they like to say, "Oh man, this guy fought bums," or just any boxer, they like to talk. But it's like at the end of the day, no fight is an easy fight. We train hard, and obviously it pays off in that ring. Like you said, our hard work pays it off. It makes it look easy, but it wasn't an easy fight. So definitely.
I will also say, I'm sure I'm gonna get tickets to the fight no matter what, right? But I will say that I think where you're at in your career versus others that are in a similar situation, I feel like you're a great looking boxer. Pause. You're great in the ring. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you're a better boxer than a lot of people that are super hyped. You know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate that. Yeah.
give you your credit where credit is due.
And with your dad being like the promoter, because right now is like the era for father and son, but usually it's they're the trainer,
yeah.
trainer. So how do you see that as like an advantage, or how do you see that having your dad as a promoter than having him as a trainer? Like
Definitely, yeah. The trainer's son, I feel like that's a different type of relationship because they're in the gym with you. I see a lot of videos where sons and fathers they kind of bump heads sometimes. So he always sees me working. He lets me do what I gotta do in the gym. He does a promotional side of it, so we really don't kind of interfere with each other as far as him telling me I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and me telling him, yo, do this. So
because you're not like really focusing on the game. That's your once you get in the ring, that's all you. Your game plan,
Definitely,
your strategy. Your dad's there to help you just
He put the bodies in the seats.
Yeah. With the body seats, but help you get he's putting you the right opponents.
Exactly.
Like just picking the fights. All right, this was gonna happen, and then the training, the game planning, that's all on you and your team.
And the coach, definitely so.
Well, even then, technically speaking, he has a matchmaker, I'm assuming, like all other promoters. So technically, the matchmaker is the one. The matchmaker just brings them pure hard fights. Like, hey, this is what we got. That's rough.
Like, no nepotism, huh? They're just going to build you up.
Yeah, building me up. So little by little, definitely.
And 11 KOs. So that's like, what, 60% or something like that?
12 KOs, right?
I think it is 11.
11?
11 or 12. 11, I think.
Yeah, 18.
Box rec was slightly a little wrong right now. Something.
Okay,
But no, 11. Where did you grow up and what was it like growing up there, my brother?
I grew up in Pico Rivera.
That's right. Shout out to the Southeast.
Yeah. Shout out Pico Rivera. I grew up playing baseball. Me and my brother have an older brother, Angel.
Shout out to Angel.
And we grew up playing baseball most of our lives. And he started boxing first and stuff, so he kind of got me into it.
That's right.
We just took off from there. So definitely from Pico. Big shout out to Pico.
Is at what age did you start wanting to follow in your brother's footsteps in the boxing?
I was 12 years old. I was still kind of in and out with baseball, and I would go to the gym, and then baseball, I was still in and out. But then it came to a point where I was like, I just want to do boxing full time. I stopped playing baseball.
What made you like boxing more than baseball?
I don't know. I think the adrenaline rush. Once the first time I sparred, I was just like, man, like there's something different, something. Baseball was cool, but just boxing was definitely something different, for sure.
I tell my wife because she wants to put like I said, my son's in boxing. He's 6 years old. He still has a long way to go.
Yeah.
But I told her that I would rather my son be in an individual sport rather than him be part of a team that might not have the same. Again, he's still a kid, but I mean, what if they don't have the same drive and determination, etc.? What if they lose, but this fool got some most goals out, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, so I told her like I would rather him just play individual sports so that way he only has to rely on himself.
Definitely, I mean, boxing has a lot more to offer. Definitely it teaches you discipline. That's like one of the main things. Especially as a kid, being able to be into boxing and learn that discipline at an early age, it gets you ready for the adult life and just teaches you how to be disciplined already. So,
what's a moment from your childhood that still motivates you in the ring today?
From my childhood, I still, like I said, I played baseball, and everybody in Pico, we grew up like super close, and everybody, and to this day, I get a lot of people from the baseball world, like, hey man, we see you doing your thing, like we're proud of you, put Pico on the map. And just things like that, it continues to motivate me just to work hard, and that they're looking at me, they see me doing my thing. So
like growing up in Pico, so how do you feel like that culture there has shaped you, like as a fighter?
Definitely, like I said, I mean, just the support, anywhere I go, Pico is a pretty decent city, man, and anywhere I go, like people are just like, hey, like we seen you fight, like hey, we're doing this, and like it just, like I said, it motivates me, and I know I got a lot of younger kids that look up to me too, especially from Pico. And it's just, I'm doing what I can to be able to motivate those kids, to show them that whatever, you put your mind to, you can definitely accomplish it. Yeah, definitely. I think it was 2020, what year? 22. I made my USA debut in Pico. And that was like 4,000 people.
At the Pico Sports Arena?
No, we did it at a park. So all the family members, all the Pico residents were able to come out, and they definitely came out and enjoyed it for sure. So
that's super dope. Was there ever a time when you doubted that you'd make it as a pro, or?
Doubted. There's times I wouldn't say doubted, but there will be times where
times.
Yeah, definitely. There's always good days and bad days.
Of course.
And it's just sometimes like, man, like it just sometimes gets you, but then when the next day comes, it's like it's another good day and it just goes away. But now lately I've been hearing a lot of good feedback, especially after my last fight. A lot of like Abner.
You look great, fool. Big pause.
Appreciate that.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're sitting right there wherever your dad sat us, all the way in the nosebleeds or whatever. And I was like, yo, we definitely got to interview this fool.
Yeah.
And the pop was crazy too, like just the walkout. Not the fight, you did your thing, but when the walkout, the pop, you got a big pop. So like as soon as we were walking out, we looked at each other, and then the fight happened. Like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Like we got to get him. Now, do you have any daily routines or like rituals that like help you like get focused for a fight or like when you're in training camp?
Focus for the fight, I would say. I mean, I'm really chilling, just listening to music. One thing for sure, worship music. That's my thing. You know, God
That's
definitely.
right.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. You know, I wouldn't be put in this position. I'm blessed. You know, obviously with an amazing dad that supports me and is able to help me
That's right.
to get where I'm at. So definitely, God is one of my main things. Prayer for sure. That's really big. So.
Aside from God and your dad, what has inspired you to want to box? Aside from your family and God,
Mhm.
basically.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, yeah, my family for sure, but most of all, like I said, just that feeling is just, that feeling just kept me going. It kept pushing me just to see where I would be able to take it, you know. I never pictured myself going pro. I just did it just to try it out, see how it went, if I liked it. But
How many amateur fights did you have?
I only did 10 amateur fights.
There's people with hundreds of
Yeah.
amateur fights. But the flip side to that is that's mileage too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage that they're taking as well. So
There's a lot of pros and cons to it, you know. Yeah, definitely damage. Also, you get a lot of experience, get to, see a bunch of other styles, you know. So it could be a pro or a con to it, definitely.
I think 10 amateur fights is cool.
Yeah.
Did you look up to like any legends in particular or any like local heroes that like inspired your fighting style?
My
Or-
fighting style, locally, I'm not sure about too many local fighters, but definitely, I mean, like one big one for sure is like Canelo. You know, Canelo definitely is
The
one of
legend.
the main ones that people look up to, and just so many other great boxers up and coming still too. You know, so yeah.
How would you describe your fighting style?
My fighting style, I would describe it, smart, go in, not waste as many punches as I can, pick my shots, try not to get hit, hit and not get hit pretty much. So be smart.
What when you're in the ring and things aren't necessarily going your way, like what do you tell yourself?
I mean, I stay calm. You know, my last fight, the first round, the guy came out swinging.
He did,
was
yeah.
like trying to hit me. But I kept my calm, I kept my composure, and I just stuck to the game plan, and I was able to, walk it out and do what I had to do. So, I mean, I never really get too crazy or let things get to my head. You know, I gotta stay focused and, like I said, stick to the training that we did and the plan, and just let it play out. So,
What's the most painful shot you've ever taken from who?
the most painful.
Even if it was in sparring or wherever. Maybe your dad whipped your ass one day at home for being bad. I don't know.
Most painful. I'm not sure. I mean, there was a fight I had in TJ. I think it was my third fight. It wasn't really painful, but it was a shot that got me. He hit me in the temple, and those shots, man, you can't.
Yeah. You can't really.
You can't.
Escape
Do
that,
nothing
yeah.
about it. So he hit me in the temple, and I almost went down. But like as I was going down, I told myself in my head like I'm not gonna go down. I can't do this.
You're still awake.
And he threw like 6 punches at me, and somehow I was just like slipping all of them, and I was just like, damn. But I got myself back together, and then I ended up hurting him after. So that was a crazy experience for sure.
TJ fights are vicious too.
Yeah, that was a great story.
They give you an easy fight in TJ.
They switched the opponent. Yeah.
Oh, they switched the opponent?
They switched my opponent like 3 times.
Oh, that's
And it was crazy
fire.
because so they had gave us a guy the day of the weigh-ins. So originally there was a guy I was gonna fight, and then we go to the weigh-ins, and then they're like, oh, this guy couldn't make it, blah blah blah. We got this guy, and I'm like, all right, well I did my training camp already, I'm ready, so whatever. So that day I even got the pictures too. It's crazy, but that day was I don't know some guy, some random dude. And then fight night, we're in the ring and we're doing the referees giving the instructions. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, this guy looks a little taller. He looks a little different. But I wasn't thinking too much. I was just ready. I was like, whatever.
Because you're expecting a different opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from the weigh-ins. But I was like, whatever. Maybe I'm just tripping or whatever. And then I go in, I'm fighting, and this guy's tough, man. He came to fight 4 rounds. It was a straight war. We're just going at it, and after we ended up noticing it was a different guy. I do have pictures. I'll show you guys after. But
Who noticed it first? That was a
I think my dad.
For sure,
he's like,
he
that's not the
noticed.
same.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then they never explained why. They never. Did you guys?
That's just TJ for you.
Yeah,
man.
that's
it's common.
It's common out there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Right
Try
now,
to get their fighters to beat you, so they look
Yeah.
good on paper.
Talk about
Facts.
being ready and being on your toes, huh?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Definitely. Yeah.
right now, how you mentioned, You were sizing each other up right there as the referee's giving instructions. Have you ever looked across the ring and been like, yeah, this fool's getting taken out today? I know it's one thing to have confidence, but like it's like another to just be like, yeah, it's not this fool's day today.
Definitely not. Sometimes you can tell from their body language.
Exactly.
Like when you're just staring them in the eye and they're kind of like.
What's the biggest giveaway you think?
Definitely the eye contact for sure.
It's nice, Chico.
You gotta hold that eye contact, and I do that. And if I see they're kind of like looking away or like their body language, I'll be like, all right, he kind of mentally, he's already not really.
Like if he's already not locked in, prepared to stare you down, like what's up?
Yeah,
he's kind of like.
He's already kind of doubting himself. Yeah.
So being undefeated, right? Was there a fight in particular that you feel that got you your respect? Like this fight particularly right here, this is where I earned my respect out of everybody.
I think one, I wasn't my best performance, but it's definitely something that's not too common. I was 18 when I fought. I did 10 rounds, and usually at that age people are fighting like 4 maybe 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And that was on the Canelo undercard, and it was against a veteran man. He had a lot of fights, a lot of experience, and that fight actually I had an injured left hand, so I went in there with a hurt left hand, but I was like, this is a big opportunity, like I can't just let it go. And I ended up doing that fight. A lot of some people had some things to say, but at the end of the day, the box, what are the box stats or box comp,
the comp you box or whatever.
Yeah, the stats are there, and it proves he threw like 500 something punches and only landed like 100, and I threw like 300, but I landed like 180 or something like that. I threw more. I couldn't do as much because my left hand, but I think that fight is it was a big exposure for me too. So
yeah,
definitely, yeah,
that's right.
What's something that happened in training camp that you've never told anyone but you still think about?
Something that happened in training camp.
Little secret, ass fool.
As far as what, like an injury or like
whatever?
Anything?
I don't know. Maybe it was the week before the fight in training camp, and you decided you wanted to take a honey pack with your girl. I don't know.
Nah, actually, that was a fight.
That was out of pocket, man.
Nah, usually I lose weight pretty easily. Like a week before, I'm probably like, or 2 weeks, I'm already like
You're there.
2 pounds, yeah. Just chilling. So the last 2 weeks is usually easy. But there was a fight. I don't remember which one it was, but I think it was like a week and a half out, and my weight just was stuck. Like I wasn't losing weight.
This fool's overcooked.
Yeah, so I was eating good. I was doing usually what I got to do, my routine, running, eating good, and I was just stuck for some reason. I was like, it was frustrating, because I'm pushing my body and it's not losing weight. So I'm like, you know what? Screw this. So I went and I got like 10 pack of wings from like Wingstop or something. I went to like Wingstop and like a big old lemonade, and we ate that. I drank that, and then like the next day I started losing weight again. I was like, damn, it worked. So
what made you want to do that? You're just like, I'm gonna nuke my body real quick.
I was just like, I mean, I'm eating good and my body's not, maybe it needs
it's not reacting.
Some sort of fats or something, to get that energy that from the carbs or whatever it may be. So I just did that and somehow it worked. So
that's crash out behavior, Pedro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You gotta trick the body.
Went to Wingstop.
Wingstop, yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, being known for knockouts, right? 18 wins, no losses, 11 knockouts.
11 knockouts. Is it 12?
12 knockouts, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay, 12.
I know how to read. And so, being known for KO power, right? Is there someone on your hit list that you'll love to test it on?
Right now, I mean, like I said, right now I'm just focused on me, like step by step. When the opportunity comes and that title shot or whatever it may be is available, definitely I'll be able to start calling out names or whatever it may be. But right now, just keep
Is there a number of fights that you feel like that's gonna get you to that title shot? Is there 3 more fights, 2?
Yeah, I mean, God willing, hopefully in about maybe another year, definitely we could go for like a youth world title or maybe even a world title. We'll see. We're talking right now. We'll see what Marv Nation got plans. Trusting in him, and he knows what's best.
How many fights do you fight a year?
Look too. Like,
he definitely looked at you like
hey.
How many fights do you fight a year?
I've been fighting like 4 times.
That's amazing.
I think one time even 5. Because
I mean, if you swept through someone, you got no damage. Yeah, let's take another fight.
Yeah. Sometimes it is just from even if the fight is quick, just the training camp alone, it takes a toll on your body.
That's valid.
So yeah, sometimes you gotta take a little rest, but I try to stay as active as I could. So yeah.
What have you ever had a moment in your career where you've had to have like a tough conversation with your coach or with your dad or anything like that in regards to your career?
Tough.
Like with your hand issue. Like, did everybody know going into the fight that you had that issue?
Yeah, the trainers knew. At that time, I was training with. I was part of Canelo's team. I was with Eddie Reynoso.
Shout out to Mr. Reynoso.
Yeah, Reynoso. So I was out there with them, and I was just telling him like, yeah, man, my hands hurt. Like I couldn't even like throw it like lightly because it was just so much pain. And I was in Mexico. We did the last 5 weeks in Guadalajara, and my dad was back home. So I was telling him like, hey, like I hurt my hand. I'm not sure what I should do. Like, what do you think? Blah blah blah. And we were just talking, and it was tough because there was a moment where I was thinking like maybe I should, because it's a big fight, and I don't want to look like sloppy, or I don't want to look like like I trained hard or whatever it may be. But also I was like, this is a big opportunity. I don't know if I'll ever get it again. So I was like, we'll just go ahead and do it. I pushed through it. I think like 2 days later, I kept sparring on it. It was weak, but I just did whatever I could, and I went into the fight like that.
What ended up being the actual cause of the pain or whatever?
I think it was a tendon. I injured a tendon right here, or what was it? Right here.
Mm-hmm.
I was working the donut, and I landed the punch wrong. I believe it was one of his assistants. He was throwing it, and then like it landed wrong, and it just kind of like something happened. Yeah, but it was a bad injury.
Clearly, you've recovered since then.
Yeah, I'm still strengthening to this day. It's not like fully 100%, but it's getting better. Yeah, definitely.
That's dope. Was ever a moment in your entire career where you ever felt like giving up? Not just in that moment, but like forget boxing in total, like just everything.
There's been times, yeah, for sure. Boxing is a lonely sport, man.
Facts.
It's hard, it's tough. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of hunger, and it's hard, running late at night, sometimes by yourself, just weight cutting. That's like one of the hardest things for sure, especially being around or being Mexican, they be having all the good food. So sometimes like, man, like why did I choose this career, but it definitely pays off at the end. So yeah.
What's the worst weight cut you've ever had?
The worst weight cut? I think the one where I was eating that the worst but best. But yeah.
Now, are there any undefeated fighters right now that you will see that you think are being protected?
Protected? Not sure. I don't like to kind of talk about other fighters.
That's right.
Respect. I give them respect for stepping in the ring. They're doing their thing at the end of the day. So, whenever they get that fight where it is competitive or whatever it may be, then we'll be able to see. But yeah, I just kind of focus on myself. Like I said, gotta do what I gotta do, and props to them. Props to them. Yeah.
Now, so would you rather end your career like being undefeated or having like say you have 2-3 losses on your end of your record, but those are wars. Those are like you get like Pacquiao and Marquez or something like that. Like those type of wars, like building up a legacy, or you're focused on like having an O on your record.
No, I'll definitely choose to be able to go out, giving the best fights that I can. Like to this day, even Mayweather, he's undefeated, but people still talk. They still talk smack, so it's just, it's gonna be like that either way. You know, you're undefeated or not, people are always gonna have something to say. But definitely, I would say to give the best fights that I can, the most competitive, and I feel like you get more respect like that rather than being undefeated and not really doing much. So,
what do you want people to say about you and mention you like in the next 10 years? Like when they talk about you at the end, like what do you want to be remembered as in the ring?
Definitely. Definitely not just in the ring. Obviously outside too. Like I said, I see a lot of young kids that do look up to me, and they always asking me questions or things like that. So one thing for sure, I want to be remembered as somebody who was always helping others, helping the community in any way that I can. In the ring, just like I said, hopefully in the future, just giving the best fights, like man, he never ducked a fight. Like he was always willing to fight the best. So definitely like those two things for sure.
What's something, I don't want to say a failure, 'cause I mean you're undefeated, right? But has there ever been something tough that you've gone through that turned out to be a blessing in disguise?
Mm, I think I mean I haven't had anything too big or too crazy happen yet.
Thank God.
Yeah, no, definitely thank God. But no, I mean even some little things, everything like his word says, for those who trust in God, everything works out for the good. So I mean, I'm just always trusting in him and knowing that obviously it happens for a reason, and I mean it's just gonna turn out to be better. So
Now, if you weren't boxing right now, would you still be playing baseball, or what would you be
I
doing?
probably would, yeah. I mean I was really good. I played travel ball team and I was just all over the place. So I think definitely I probably would have stuck to baseball, yeah.
What position you play?
I honestly played everywhere, mostly shortstop, pitcher,
Oh, so
but
you're good.
yeah, yeah, I played everywhere though, every position.
That's pretty sick. Any
Yeah.
career questions before I move on to the nonsense?
Mhm.
No, go ahead.
What's the best taco place in Pico?
And Pico,
Don't tell
Pico,
me Pepe's or something like that.
Pico. I really haven't tried too many spots. There's a taco truck we always go to in Whittier. That one's pretty. Do you know the name of it? Los Carnales. They're pretty good, yeah. Pretty close to Pico, but
What's the best tacos in LA that you've ever had?
in LA, I would say probably Los Cholos, the filet mignon, or
Fire.
yeah, those are
That's
pretty
Orange
good.
County, fool.
Orange County.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's you?
dang. He's like, no, no,
Oh
no.
shit.
There's one in HP.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
And
you haven't had Los Cholos?
Yeah.
That shit's all right.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Wait, oh no, I didn't go with you. But no, yeah,
Yeah.
that shit's all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's crazy.
What's been your favorite venue to fight in so far?
My favorite venue, I think the best one, I mean, it was that definitely that Canelo fight. It was at the Chivas Stadium. It was big, 50,000 people. So
That's
yeah, it was
crazy.
crazy.
What are you better than your brother?
We have different styles, I
Nah,
mean,
nah, nah.
we're both good in our own
Have you
ways.
ever fought each other?
We've
Obviously not in real life. You know what I mean?
We've sparred, nothing like.
Who won sparring? I don't care what no one says. Somebody wins sparring.
I mean, I don't know, like sparring is just more work. We didn't go hard. We were just like working
Oh,
with each
no.
other.
Cap.
I mean, if we were to go like full, I mean, he's heavier, he's bigger, so maybe I would probably say him. He's bigger, but
That's very nice of you. You're a good little brother.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dad? No, I'm just kidding. Get out of here,
yeah.
kids. Nah. What was I gonna ask you before I got lost in that stupid question? Go. I'll get it back.
No, I'll say well, like sparring. We'll bounce. Go keep going with sparring. Like, is there anybody you sparred in particular that you felt like that you were starstruck or that maybe affected your performance in sparring?
No, starstruck, no. Affected my performance.
Just because you're like, oh, I'm sparring this person.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, I just go in there and do my thing. I mean, whoever it is, I know definitely I'm gonna learn from it. But no, nothing like giving them respect, because there's sometimes where people do give them that respect and they hold back, they don't let
Yeah.
their hands go, and
No, you
you
gotta
can't
let
do
it
that.
go.
You gotta, you gotta show what you got too. So yeah, Venado, Rayo, I sparred with Rayo up in San Diego,
That's
and
right.
many other fighters.
What do you feel like it was like the hardest sparring you had? Like against who?
I would say one of the that I can think right now, he's just a little awkward, but he hits hard too. But probably Venado. He's a little awkward, so those awkward styles kind of like you don't know where those punches are coming
It's
from. So,
crazy.
yeah,
Not to say that he doesn't know how to box, but they say you're a professional boxer. We're professional training. You get into a fight, you're expecting them to kind of at least fight like you.
yeah,
So when someone's coming in with some unorthodox, weird stuff, you're kind of like, whoa.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to be like defensive against those type of punches because
They're
you don't
coming
know where
from
it's
wherever.
coming from. Yeah, so
That's crazy.
Is there? Let me see. Are you gunning for like a specific name or bout right now, or are you just kind of just working on whoever's
Yeah,
next?
right now, not like I said, just building myself. Whichever organization I'm ranked in higher, obviously we could try to shoot for that belt. Whatever names they try to throw at us, I mean, like I said, when the opportunity comes, definitely we'll take that opportunity. But right now, just like I said, being humble, doing what I gotta do, work my way up, because I don't like to be like in that position where maybe I'm not there, or I don't deserve it yet, and it's like I'm calling people out. So I want to make sure I gotta do what I gotta do, put myself in that place, and then when I am, I can call people out and things like that.
At this point, you're still a young man, so I mean, you're still outside having fun or whatever. I'm sure a lot of people know you, like you said, everyone knows you in this city. Have you ever been challenged to a street fight recently in your life?
No, I think throughout my whole life, I've never been in a street fight.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so just only in the ring, getting paid for it, being
That's
smart.
badass.
Yeah, so.
If you were to give advice to anybody that's gonna get into a street fight, what advice would you give them? Like, what punch would you say, like, rely on this and this is gonna get you out of your situation? Assuming there's no weapons or it's just a normal
Street fight.
fade. Yeah.
Man, I mean, I think the first thing I would do is try to make peace so they don't fight.
That's very
But
nice.
man, if they
No
should fight,
peace is allowed. They're coming at you no matter what.
I mean, man, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I mean, you could tell people advice, but when they start fighting, it's like it just goes out the window.
I think like
Yeah.
Mikey Garcia, when I asked him, he said he just overhand righted that fool.
Ramirez?
Jose Ramirez, when I interviewed him, he was getting robbed. His house was getting robbed. So he was talking, blah, and just got him with a cross.
It's a little sneaky, yeah.
What did Bam say? I don't know what Bam said. I think I asked him if me and him got into a fight. He just said he would work me until I get tired. What would you do if someone was trying to fight you? Would you try to jab them? Would you overhand them? Or
Definitely, yeah. I mean, definitely be smart and not just kind of going because, especially in a street fight, like it's like a wild fighter. You
facts?
could get caught with a punch that you don't see coming. So I mean, I'll definitely use some feints. They probably won't be used to that, and just see what's open from there.
That's right.
Is there a go-to? Like, you have a go-to punch? So if you give them a feint and this is my power.
Probably just a jab. I'm really good with my jab, so just a little keep them busy. Just
A square jab and a stiff jab into someone's face that is not a boxer
Right on the nose?
Right on
might
the
not
nose.
really want it after their nose.
Yeah.
Once you get here, your eyes are now watery. You might be
Yeah.
leaking.
They're
Yeah, definitely.
Imagine getting jabbed by nature.
yeah.
Outside of Thunder Studios.
Outside of Pepe's.
Yeah. Is
That's
that what it's called? It's called Pepe's right there on Whittier Boulevard, right? Yeah.
It's like a drive-through spot.
That little spot, yeah.
What's your funnest or wildest moment in sparring?
Wildest or funnest moment.
It can be the same. It can be fun and wild.
Yeah. Damn, I'm not sure. That's kind of hard. I can't think of one off the top of my mind right now. Yeah. But I mean, usually when I spar, I mean, pretty serious. Like I really don't mess around. I usually do what I.
Well, like fun is like not meaning like you're out there like having like a kid at Disneyland, but like fun is where like, oh man, I'm actually gonna get to spar this guy. Like a fun because you're gonna go in there and actually you're gonna get some work, gonna learn. That can be fun, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Building, adding new tools to your belt and stuff. So
yeah. I mean, then maybe like an experience I would say was cool was going out to San Diego. That was where the Team Benavides was, and that was where I sparred Rayo. So I mean, he's a bigger guy, but it was definitely an experience, to be able to go in there. So it was pretty cool.
How many rounds you spar with him?
I think I did 4 or 5 because he had like a bunch of other sparring partners. So kept these switches out. So yeah.
It was just like one day of sparring, or you?
No, we were there for like 2 weeks, I believe, sparring with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 5 ever.
Ever. Damn. I mean, I probably wouldn't say in order, but
no order.
Yeah, no order. I would say.
I'm gonna still ask you who you think's the top 5 currently, but top 5 ever.
Okay. Well, I would say let's see. I would for sure put Maybe Mike Tyson. He was a killer.
That's a bad man.
He was a killer.
Youngest champion ever.
Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali.
Legend, of course.
Muhammad Ali. Who else? I would say from today's kind of era, I would say Canelo.
Of course.
Canelo. Pacquiao. Can't forget Pacquiao.
Most division champion, right?
Yeah, 8 division champion. That's crazy. And one more, I would say probably. I mean, you know, he's probably the best defense boxer, Mayweather. You know,
Facts.
he did his thing, so gotta give
That's
respect.
one of my favorite boxers of all time too. So
Yeah, gotta give respect. Yeah.
And right now, who do you think's top 5 right now? I don't mean pound for pound. I just mean like whatever your answer is. I don't care.
I would say right now Canelo, Bam Bam. He's a beast too. Let's see who else we got. Javante, pretty bad too. Usyk, we got Usyk, and one more. Let's see who else. I don't know. There's a lot of good fighters out there right now, you know. So
I'll never forget when Fury used to refer to Alexander Usyk as the cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Damn, he gave him the business.
Both times.
That's sad.
It's crazy.
The cruiserweight. Heavyweight champion of the world. Undisputed?
No, not no more, right? No, not no more. The IBF?
Yeah, they stripped him.
Yeah, they stripped him from the IBF. I think
He didn't want to pay those weak ass dues or what?
Who has IBF? Dubois and somebody's fight.
So they stripped it and awarded it to somebody.
Yeah.
Whoever the mandatory for the IBF was or something.
I think Dubois has it now. So Dubois and Usyk are supposed to fight.
Who's gonna get rocked?
To be undisputed.
Yeah.
It's not even fair almost, you know what I'm saying?
Well, against Dubois.
I just feel like that's just whack for Usyk, you know? Like you're undisputed, you get stripped over some nonsense, you know what I'm saying?
They've been doing it a lot lately.
I guess that's valid.
They stripped Canelo. They just stripped Bivol.
They stripped Bivol and gave it to who? Benavidez?
Benavidez.
That's fire.
So
He was like, this is not the way I wanted to become champ.
Yeah.
But I am.
That's crazy.
What's the craziest fight you've ever seen on a Marv Nation card?
The craziest fight.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've seen some crazy shit happen on Marv Nation cards.
Yeah. What do you think?
We're not going to disclose all the details, but yeah, that shit was crazy,
if
boy.
you saw it, you saw it.
Oh, the Ron Johnson, yeah.
Ron
Long time
Johnson?
ago.
Who's that fool?
He was a heavyweight that was with Mayweather, I believe.
Got rocked.
With Dunking.
Oh, that's
Dunking?
classic.
Yeah.
That one was at the sports arena. It was crazy.
Pico Rivera Sports Arena against a Mexican.
And got rocked.
And he got rocked. He gave him the fight.
Whoa!
After the fight, he just went crazy.
Pandemonium.
Oh shit.
The whole the crowd, everybody started fighting, like
Oh, for real?
the Morenos against the Hispanics, and like it was just crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Actually wasn't. Yeah.
Huh?
It was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So over the decision, the crowd just went crazy.
Yeah, they got crazy. Yeah.
And he got rocked. Like he got rocked, or did he get dropped, or he just got hurt bad?
I think he was getting outworked. He was
Yeah.
getting outworked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty obvious. So it just, and I think too, like after they said he won, he was like telling people things and like being like, oh, like, I won.
Oh,
Like he kind of made it clear, you know?
so cocky.
Yeah.
That's what started.
Yeah. So
Where were you? You got Nathan and your lady dead. Let's get out of here, guys.
I was there.
So you were in the ring, no? Were you in the ring? Yeah.
Were they throwing shit in the ring, Marv?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
People were jumping from the top of the stands all the way to the bottom.
Oh shit.
He got out of the ring. The fighter got out of the ring too, and he started fighting with people. Huh?
Oh crap.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Fighting fools that are trying
crowd.
to piece you up, but you still have your gloves on. That's gotta be a whack feeling.
Damn.
Can't grab shit. You know what I mean?
Go for the double leg.
Yeah.
What else you got for this wonderful gentleman here?
So representing being like Mexican American, like how do you feel like how do you feel you represent that in the ring or like outside like as like the culture bringing together? Is that something important to you?
Definitely, for sure. I mean, you know, Mexicans are always, you know, we're always supportive to each other. You know, Raza is always very big on support. So, you know, I try to like, there's been times where I've had Mexican colored tracksuits, you know, things like that to, you know, to push that out there, you know, and just they showed a lot of support for sure. And that's definitely something big. And I'm very proud of, you know, to be Mexican. So,
That's right.
Latino.
Well, shit. Is there anything else we should have asked you that we haven't asked you, my brother?
Just the next fight. I mean, you know, we'll be fighting, God willing, May 17th. And
May 17th. It's on your box rack.
yeah, it
It's
might
going
say
down.
the 25th, but it's on the 17th.
If you're not logged in, it might say a different day, but yeah.
Yeah.
Follow you.
Yeah, and then you guys can follow me on Instagram for more updates, El Morenito Boxing, and stay tuned there.
Do we know who we're fighting yet?
Not yet. Right now, we're currently looking for an opponent, so that'll be announced soon.
Got it.
But so how was the mindset though? Like being 16, so you're still like growing up, right? Like you're a teenager, 16. So how like what was the decision behind that going pro at 16? And then how did you handle like the workload, or how did you handle the mindset of knowing like, hey, this is professional now? Like what was it like going on through that mind as a 16-year-old?
Yeah. So the whole thing happened during COVID. I was 20, I think like late
19 or 20.
and then started going into 20. And everything had shut down, the amateurs, the whole, so there was no amateur fights or anything like that. And then we had a gym in Montebello. So we were closed to the public, but I would go and train every day, I was stay working out, try to stay in shape. And I just kept working out for months, till I told my dad, like, because I think they were doing professional fights and like out of the country and stuff, but with the regulations or whatever. So I told my dad, after like staying in the gym for months, I was like, you know what, I want to go pro, because I don't know how long the amateur is gonna be closed. Like I want to fight, and I kept training, and then he saw that I was going to the gym every day, and he was like, you know what, like I'll give you that opportunity. I see you're working, you're hungry for it. So I ended up doing my professional debut in Costa Rica. I was 16.
Fire.
That's
It was,
crazy.
yeah,
Being 16, pro
16,
debut in Costa Rica.
fighting like
That's wild.
Super tight.
grown men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How was your opponent?
how old?
Yeah.
He was 28 or 29. I believe.
Fighting a grown ass man.
You find
At
it?
16, you do not have your adult strength
No,
yet.
I
No,
don't.
yeah.
Definitely. So he's pretty much like twice my age almost.
Facts.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. So we went out there, and I think I got the knockout 15 seconds into the first round. And then the second fight, we went to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico.
That's nice.
And it was pretty cool. They had the ring.
You're still 16 at the time?
Yeah, I was still 16. Yeah. That guy
He was just traveling the world.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool because we had like a ring on top of a pool, and then the people that were in the other pool, like they were just chilling, getting drinks and looking at the fight. So it was pretty
That's
cool.
tight.
And that one was like 10 seconds, I think, right?
No, 30,
30, was it?
25.
25? Oh, okay, it was a little
A
longer.
couple seconds
He
long.
came out swinging, trying to knock him out with everything.
And he got caught.
He got caught. He got caught with a hook, I think, or something.
It was an overhand, right? Yeah.
Overhand,
Yeah.
And he was out cold, like literally when you're stiff up like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
He came out aggressive because he was probably thinking like,
I'm gonna get this kid out of here.
This kid is 16 years old.
Yeah.
He's really skinny and thin. And
Yeah.
he came out really aggressive, and then he just turned him around, caught him with a shot. He actually hit him. He took a shot. He came back with another one and knocked him out.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Yeah. So like from the first fight, people were kind of like saying some stuff or whatever, and I mean the second fight, same thing, So I just kept working, and I mean it just kept paying off.
And during this time, being 16 and traveling the world and fighting these grown ass men, like what's keeping you calm? What's keeping you focused? Like, as a 16-year-old, like when I was 16, I was fucking chasing girls and like doing dumb shit in the streets. But you're over here in the gym, focused and training. Like what's the mindset like as a 16-year-old traveling the world?
Definitely. I think one thing for sure that's helped me is definitely my faith. I really I don't drink at all. I don't smoke.
That's right.
I don't do anything. I stay clean, and like I said, my faith. That's definitely a big thing that's helped me kind of stay away from those things, knowing they don't bring anything good. And then in that moment, like I said, I just after like my two fights, I just kept training. It felt good. The adrenaline rush, it was dope. And I just kept training, and that's how I was able to stay focused.
And did you notice anything right away off the bat from amateurs to being a professional, being pro? Like, what's the major differences?
Yeah, definitely, it's a big difference. The time, that's number one. And the amateurs, I think, is like a minute and a half, and then the pros, you get 3 minutes. You get more time to be able to
work.
Yeah, the thing I didn't like about the amateurs is like they go in there and just like bah 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 like nonstop. You really can't pick your shots. You can't like think like. But that's why I like the professionals. It's more my style. If you guys, you guys were there at my last fight.
Yeah.
I'd like to take my time. I like to pick my shots. Break them down, and just be calm overall. And that's definitely a big difference from the amateurs to the pros.
Do you think it gives you more an advantage now of like since most fighters fighting 200 something amateur fights, but you going pro at 16 and having that experience of just fighting professional style fights because the technique's different, everything's different in professionals. Do you feel like that gives you a big advantage against other people?
I think so, yeah. I mean, just the feeling alone of stepping into the professional ring is totally different. Like the amateurs, I don't know, it just feels like normal, regular. But when you step into that professional ring, it just feels like it doesn't feel real. It feels like a video game. And just the gloves are so small. You have no headgear.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just crazy. But definitely those years helped me prepare, mentally and just the experience. Like I said, that fight in TJ, I was grateful for it, because it definitely showed I had heart. It definitely taught me something. So just all that definitely
How old were
worked out.
you in that fight in TJ?
I was 16 or 16, yeah.
You're 16.
That was his third professional.
That was your
Yeah, I was fighting like every 2 months, I think, at that
That's
time.
tight.
So yeah, I was about 16.
do you plan on staying that active like as you keep going or is
Right
that's
now,
the goal? Like right now, 4 fights a year minimum or
definitely right now, stay active. Like I said, once I get to that point where I'm available for a title shot, be able to take that chance or whatever, and then from there we'll see whoever they offer or we have to fight, and then obviously the fights get tougher and tougher, so you got to take a little bit more time to recover, train, things like that. So
do you believe in like ring rust?
ring rust, I could I would say if they're not training as well in the gym and sparring, um, because definitely like if you're not doing anything at all, maybe. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in the gym, sparring and stuff, I mean, I don't think it should be too much of a big like
That's
issue.
valid.
Yeah.
Missing from the ring, but still sparring is cool. But if you're just missing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
No.
definitely.
Yeah, because it's a big thing. Because when fighters take a year off and then they come back and they talk about ring rust, or 2 years off and then come back, they talk about ring rust, but you don't really know what they're doing.
Definitely,
We're not
yeah.
living with the fighters. We're not out there on a daily basis, so you don't
Definitely.
know if they're sparring twice, 3 times a week, or they're training. So we don't know. But it's something that's always brought up.
Yeah,
When the fighters are on a big layoff, they come back, they talk about ring rust
definitely.
because the timing in the ring is different.
I mean, it could be different for any fighter, maybe at the end of the day, most of it is mental, so it just depends how they can handle with that
Yeah.
or what they think. So,
So you think the ring rust could be more mental than it is like actually like timing and training?
it could be a part of it could be timing, training too. But I think most of it is just mental. Like I said, sparring, as long as you're doing what you have to do, I mean, shouldn't be like too much of a big issue. So,
I feel it. Well, it's been real, Nathan. We highly appreciate you.
thank you.
Shout out to Marv Nation. Make sure you guys follow El Morenito and Marv Nation. Their Instagrams appeared below their faces in the beginning of this episode. Tickets to his next fight, May 17th at Thunder Studios in Long Beach, are available in the link in this description. We got my man Mike Theory right here. You already know who I am. This is Casual Experts Podcast, and we're out of here.
You're just a casual.